Previously on Eugene's A Traveling Drummer's Diary.
Hello everyone, I'm Eugene and welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Drummer's Diary saga. With this video we continue the adventures on the road of the Venom Inc. leg of the Vital Remains EU tour in 2016. Next stop, gig number 9, Bologna Italy. We have finally arrived to Italy and we're expecting some very warm welcome. The weather didn't let us down one bit and I could get some much needed photosynthesis for my sickness.
After 2 p.m.
And I'm just waking up.
We're in Miami, Florida. Feeling better?
No, I'm really hungover.
Unfortunately, the venue let us down. I woke up to the fast-spreading rumor that tonight's gig won't happen. Apparently some conditions for the performance were unacceptable.
It's summer. Smoke meth.
While everyone was still in doubts whether to start unloading the backline, I went to investigate.
Got the biggest club on tour so far.
And the best equipment here. We make the lights.
Okay.
Like Jesus.
Look what Jesus did.
Look what Jesus did!
Estimating with my laser eyesight, this place could probably fit around 50 people at best.
Nirvana played on this kit. Yeah, he just like jumped into the Okay, so yeah, we have a nice PA. Better than nothing. Yeah, the backstage. I think the backstage isn't even bigger. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's like a closet. And this is the actual stage. Well, yeah, you can imagine that you can fit from 0 to 0 drum kits on this stage. This is very, very deal. Of course, you need only like 20 people and it's gonna look like sold out. Maybe we're not gonna even play. The food is already here. So what we got? A few apples, some walnuts, 1 bottle of Coke, tortilla chips, muesli salad in Hungarian, whatever. And we have 2 6-packs of water. They sell some merch here. Oh, there any wireless here by any chance? Don't think so, right? No. It's not surprising.
No matter the conditions on tour, being super toxic about things does no good.
Tip number 67, stay positive. Constant complaints affect other band members and overall mood badly.
Talking about positivity, we had some delicious penne with mozzarella for dinner. I can't help it, I'm just a sucker for these, so I couldn't care less about the venue conditions after such meal. My performance kinda sucked that night, but I couldn't do anything about it. Obviously, all 5 bands shared the same gear and we weren't allowed to adjust or move anything. The level of discomfort was on a whole new level. That evening pretty much reminded me of my first gigs ages ago when I was performing with my local punk hardcore band. Very atmospheric, has its own charm, I guess. Overall, I had a good time, but it would be unfair to give Bologna anything more than 1 out of 5, just being objective. Though worst on this tour. But now it's time to continue and conquer Rome. As far as I recall, our gig in Rome was moved last second to the Brancaleone venue. We arrived pretty early and there was time to kill before work, so obviously we wanted to do some sightseeing. Although this was my second visit to Rome, I still didn't want to miss the chance walking around a bit.
Суббота, Рим. Все люди в Риме сейчас в Ватикане. А я, блядь, открываю ёбаный принтер, сейчас поставлю ёбаный ноутбук и буду, блядь, заниматься всякой, блядь, хуйней в Риме. Первый раз в жизни приехал в Рим.
Мне очень жаль. Чем ты должен заниматься?
Чем я должен заниматься? Всякой хуйней, я же сказал.
Извини, точно. I want to get out.
No, we can't.
The evil driver locked us in.
For the sake of variety of this vlog chapter, we're gonna distract ourselves with some nice Roman architecture. Brian, Dean and I got into an Uber because the city center was very far from the venue. We had roughly 3 hours, which is enough for literally nothing. Alright, that's enough of that. I'll be back for more sightseeing in Rome in future vlogs, you have my word. The venue we played that night was relatively big. My performance was also adequate. I don't really recall much from that place in particular. A decent side stage, bar in the back, a more or less nice backstage.
Did you enjoy Rome today?
No. It's horrible.
Did you enjoy Rome today?
No.
It's horrible. Ну что, как Рим?
Рим отлично. Вот видел коридор клуба, проход до автобуса и туалет. Тоже ничего. В Риме классно. В Риме супер.
Таких туалетов не найдешь.
Not that Rome was the origin of top-notch pizza, but the one we had for dinner that night was some really next-level biedronka on a budget gourmet shit. Brancaleone, Rome, Italy. Not much to complain about, 3 out of 5. Heading back north to Milan. Next day we arrived pretty early and I was hoping to go check the city, for this was my very first visit. Insatiable Eugene was hungry for more sightseeing experience after Rome yesterday. Unfortunately, the Lo-Fi Club, which is permanently closed as of today, was located in the outskirts of Milan. Some ugly looking train tracks of a railway station nearby was all the cultural dosage I was managed to get that day. Let's take a look inside. Right at the entrance, a big room for catering, typical deli tray and snacks upon arrival. Parallel room to this is the stage. It's very deep and kinda narrow, more like a hallway. March table in the very end with the main entrance for the audience.
Работаем как проклятые.
Although it doesn't even look that big, my guess is that this place could host around 200 to 300 people.
Buongiorno.
Hello.
More or less proper stage size for 2 backlines to fit without too much trouble. And a very badly clogged shower behind the stage. If any of you have seen some of my live Vital Remains drum cams I posted from this tour, they were filmed here. Shout out to my friend Marco, who helped me out big time that night with some technical issues. Make sure to check out the full video if you haven't seen it yet. Personally, I think including these kind of hiccups in live performance videos gives them a unique down-to-earth vibe.
Tip number 68, snare mic or no snare mic, show must go on.
I recall the pasta we had that night was top-notch, touring nutritionism at its finest. From my personal experience, Italians usually eat small portions of very delicious food. On our way to Germany after the show, we stopped at the truck stop because everyone was still hungry.
They have some like warm food.
Пока все не вышли, хватает, что есть.
You bet I did. Lo-Fi Club, Milan, Italy. Average, not bad, 3 out of 5. Let's cross the Alps. Back up north in cold Germany, no more warm Mediterranean weather. But with these harsh conditions comes the signature German seasoned soldier venue as a compensation. Although located in the middle of nowhere, the Plutonium in Straßkirchen turned out to be a great place. Decent sized stage for 2 backlines, enough room for maybe 500 guests or even more, a bar in the far back, nice cozy couches for the elderly listeners, even more bars further in the back, cause don't forget we're in Bavaria after all. On the side of the stage, a dressing room for the bands with catering and, you guessed it right, another bar. Ready-made sandwiches, juices, some salads, deli tray, but most importantly, the much-needed candy for the kids. There was a shower somewhere next to the kitchen behind one of the bars. I was halfway there already but couldn't abandon my comrades in the middle of their work.
Tip number 69, a Eugene indeed comes before a shower in need.
A shocker for that night, the attendance was around 30 plus people if I recall sadly. Of course it was a Monday, but still twice as a bummer for such a cool venue. Plutonium, Straßkirchen, Germany. Very nice, 4 out of 5. Off to Weinheim next. Alright boys and girls, time for a technical oopsie. Turns out I wasn't filming anything in Weinheim at all, so I got nothing to show you. But if you're really curious, you can search for some info about the venue and the event on the net. A medium-sized place with a capacity of roughly 350 people or so. Can't remember much about the backstage except that it was fairly small, no recollection of catering either. Had a nice drum lesson before the show with this gentleman here named Timo. There was also some warm-up footage from this gig I posted on my Instagram, which you can look up. as well as a short clip on YouTube from our show. As for the performance, I remember it was super hot on stage and playing was very challenging. An important thing to mention is the shower, which only had cold water. Don't forget, it was the end of October outside and I was still battling my sickness at this point. Cause it seems I did forget about that and took the risk of taking a Wim Hof style ice bath after the sweaty show. I felt pretty good during the day and my ear inflammation was almost gone before this reckless move. But that cold shower was a game changer and nearly killed me.
Tip number 70. Relapses should not be taken lightly, especially on tours. Don't let reckless decisions bring you back to square one.
Hope you will learn from my mistake. Café Central, Weinheim, Germany. Pretty okay, 3 out of 5. We continue with the last German gig on this tour in Essen. After yesterday's cold shower, my ear inflammation didn't give me the chance for a proper sleep, of course. I didn't have any good medicine for it, so first thing in the morning I went hunting for some. Luckily, our bus was parked right next to the venue, which is located very close to the city center. After walking around a bit, I have finally managed to locate a pharmacy to get drugged. Unfortunately for me, they couldn't sell me anything good enough without a proper prescription.
5 drops 3 to 4 times a day each year. I'm not against inflammation, only pain.
I suppose nothing hurts you.
Only pain.
But
at least I had a nice involuntary excursion, multitasking at its finest. Back at the venue, my absence at load-in and setting up was excused due to my medical condition. The Turok venue in Essen is absolutely awesome in my opinion. Capable of hosting up to 600 guests, has a decent stage, bar, bathrooms, merch section. The dressing rooms are located a bit far from the stage, but they're totally worth the long walk. The catering is top-notch, in case you're able to get any. Usually hungry musicians swarm the tables first thing when they enter the venue, like Locust.
Tip number 71. If you will miss the morning catering plundering, make sure you entrust someone to save you a plate for later.
What can I say? I gotta start trying harder making some friends on tour, otherwise I'll stay hungry. The supporting bands were sharing one nice and cozy dressing room with all the necessities. We had a huge bathroom with a jacuzzi and a shower cabin for 2? Perhaps the venue owners wanted to save on the water bill, hoping certain band members were close enough. Luckily, since nobody was thinking about saving food for anyone else for later, something like a shared shower requires a much higher level of bonding than what we had on this tour.
Alright, I'm gonna need like 30 people right here. I said, are you fucking ready?
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Turok, Essen, Germany. Super awesome place. Was lucky enough to come back here in 2019 with Belfagor. The only reason I'm not giving it a top rating is the absence of some kind of a room for the bands next to the stage. Running down that super narrow corridor and then waiting next to people kinda ruins everything a bit. A solid 4 out of 5. That's all for the German leg of this tour. Off to the Netherlands. I recall waking up next day due to the bus not moving. We stopped at a gas station and since I felt like total crap, I decided to reward myself with some yummy sustenance. Because of my ear inflammation getting worse, I had a hard time moving my jaw while talking and chewing food. The only thing that could have helped me at this point was Divine Grace, which ironically I probably even had the chance to receive that day since the venue we played was actually a church.
Disco ball in the church.
But as you may know, the Dutch promoters are more likely to bless you with some divine grass instead, which perhaps could have helped too. Anyway, this sanctuary was equipped with some top-notch tech for backline transportation.
This is what you want to do after a f***ing night of drinking. The first thing you wake up in the morning is this.
Something's wrong. People are high.
After watching our backline rupture upstairs to the stage, it was time to go have some lunch. To my surprise and joy, we were offered more than just the regular bread and wine catering. It was absolutely heavenly.
If you want coffee, just ask them, they'll bring it. They have soup, sandwiches, and if you want eggs, they can prepare it too. It's a restaurant.
This is really cool.
Little did I know that these pleasures are just compensation for the punishment that is to come next. I already talked about situations where the nightliner is unable to park or stay right next to the venue all the time. The Dutch usually prefer bikes instead of big vehicles, and our bus was taking up too much space, so it had to leave. After load-in and lunch, my daily schedule on the sick tour would let me get some sleep and recover before the show. Even a 1-hour power nap can fix things no prayers or miracles will. Not having the bus right next to the venue made me hesitate this time. But then Brian convinced me to go, saying he joins me 72 and later we'll just take an Uber to come back for the show. That was a big mistake. For some reason the bus was forced to leave the city limits and park somewhere in the middle of the highway. About an hour later we woke up and figured we gotta get out of here. I don't recall the exact reason, but we were not able to get neither an Uber nor a cab, so we had to walk.
You want just to climb?
Yeah.
Alright.
Tip number 72. Real friendships are forged in battle and tested on highways. Cherish them.
And so we kept walking.
Tour adventures.
With Brian Berger.
The type of shit you can't even make up.
After what felt like an eternity, we finally made it to the city. The overall distance was just a few kilometers, but due to my sickness I was this close to not performing that night. Upon arrival to the venue, I went hunting for some medicine unsuccessfully. As much as I could still comprehend in my condition, the city center looked very lovely. Since I'm still alive as of today, I truly believe my prayers were heard in Dudok that night and I survived the gig. With existing evidence that some force from above can actually work every once in a while, I'm willing to give this Church of Satan a 4 out of 5 pentagrams. It's time to end this mess and wrap up the video here. In the next episode we're gonna do the 3 remaining Venoming shows as well as some beach time in Spain. Make sure you catch me on the road with part 4 of the Vital Remains EU Mexican Tour 2016 very soon. Till then, take care. Eugene, out. Impressed by this precision? Me too. This is all achievable thanks to the Foot Blaster triggers. Make sure that you head to footblaster.com and use the code Eugene in order to get a discount for your next Foot Blaster trigger purchase.